Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. So glad you're with us. It's going to be a pretty cool show. This is what I call the improv show. I mean, I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. So we have a panel that we're going to bring out some topics that listeners have written in and said they'd like to talk about it. And we're going to fire them up and see what we can come up with. You'll have some entertaining and not so entertaining opinions, I'm sure. We're also going to be having some interesting facts. I looked around and found out there's a lot of really weird facts about golf that people might not know. So I thought we call it Did You Know? And we'll see how the panel knows. I've got a bunch of things we can ask the panel, see if they know or not. I know, for one, I didn't know a lot of these things, which is pretty cool because I've been in the golf business for almost 45 years, I guess I've been. Well, 40 years. 40 years in the business, not 45. And I didn't know a lot of these things, so we'll find out. So again, welcome to the show. My name is Billy Gibbs. That guy right over there is Mr. Mike Brabennick. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. Doing great, man. Glad to be here. And I just happen to have a pack of dueling facts as well.
You do? Well, but dueling facts.
You know what would be really funny is, well, I don't know if it's funny, how valid are the facts? Because you know all the stuff on the internet now, sometimes you don't really know how long it's been there.
Well, yeah, some of these things are written long before the fake news was a hot item, I think.
Exactly,
yeah. So whether they've been confirmed or not, I'm sure. But
I have 100 golf facts, golf trivia facts, and quiz question ideas.
I bet you that you have ones that I question the idea.
Something like that. So I just kind of ripped this thing off last night.
I bet a lot of things you have are the same things I found, too. So we'll find out.
So we'll test Nikki.
We'll test Nikki.
This show's going to be all about testing Nikki.
What does Nikki know?
I just love those kind of shows.
If you know Nikki, you would believe she knows everything. And that's how, but we're going to find out for sure because in the realtor business, I'm sure she knows so much more than most of us, or most all of us, including the listeners. But in the golf world, let's find out what Nikki really does know. So I'll have fun with that.
Ooh, this could be good.
This could be really good.
See,
you did
Spurs.
Hit it, Bill?
So, and she still thinks that the little spot on the wall is a bird's nest, so it's kind of funny. So I took a photo. I'm going to show her a close-up picture of that during the break. Because,
swallow.
Yes,
mud swallow.
Yes.
There's something on the wall as we walk into the...
and she thinks it's a mud swallow's nest, which is
we could probably get that sampled and take it to a lab.
I brought a little extension picker thing.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a little syringe. I'm going to take a little
Was it
biopsy.
Remember the little picker things that were like dinosaur heads?
Got one in the
car.
car.
You could like grab?
Yeah, little gators.
Is that one of those you have?
Yeah, there's the little gator and the little dinosaur.
I love those things.
Visual of that
I love those things. I used to have a bunch of those, but the rubber band was.
I still have a scar from my brother right here when he grabbed me and wouldn't let go.
Did he?
Yeah, it was very sad.
Is that on the necklace one?
That's the necklace one. So, what do you got going on? I know BM in the morning is important. What do you got to flush out there, Mike?
You know what? I'm being Captain Obvious here, but
is there such a thing as Captain?
There's Captain Obvious.
Is there a Captain Obvious?
Oh yeah.
God, I'm way out of time.
He's a character.
Is that one of those fake news things, or is that real?
No? He's a caricature on. It might be Geico even. Something like that.
It's a hotel guy.
Yeah, the hotel guy.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Hotels.com.
I've seen that dude.
So this might be again totally Captain Obvious. But watching all the basketball playoffs this week, and just. Watching how quick the media turns. Last week we talked about what the heck happened with Reed.
Yeah.
And now it's like immediately, like last week when the Cavaliers lost their first game to Indiana at home, it was like, oh, the world's coming down. LeBron's not that good. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And I guess the reason I brought it up, it was funny to me because it's so obvious because it's there all the time, but like I just happened to kind of stop for a second. I had a second to stop and listen and go, well, that's really stupid. It's the same thing as Patrick Reed. It's the same storyline. It's the same, let's see who we can, put on or throw under the bus in this case.
Right.
And knock this guy or gal off their pedestal and, try to put them in their place because we know everything, which is absolutely wrong and not true. And I just thought, man, it's kind of a sad state of affairs there. But, I guess entertainment.
Is that the motive? Is the motive entertainment and ratings? Is that the motive?
That's exactly what it is. Like you and I have had an agreement a long time ago. Of course, now it's changed a little bit, but we had an agreement a long time ago about never mentioning Tiger Woods on the show just because Tiger Woods was always everywhere. no one needed to listen to us to talk about Tiger
Yeah, it wasn't
Woods.
political. It was just overkill.
It was, big time.
Every other sentence in every golf show had the word Tiger Woods in it. So us being different, which was more unique, is better. We're absolutely different. But being unique, we thought we'd try something new and was kind of fun. And staying away from controversies, But yeah, so that agreement, has kind of changed. He's been out of the news for so long. So now that he comes back in, it's kind of nice to see him back involved. So I'm on it. I can take the non-Tiger clause off the contract if you'd like to. We should meet.
Yeah.
Well,
I figured
we have producer. She's producer now. Is that right? Is that producer? I wasn't there for that vote, so that's still under debate. But yes, we should ask her if we should take the Tiger thing, and we'll vote. We'll see if it's unanimous during the break.
I just kind of figured subliminally between you and I, because we've talked about it, more so this year, because we have this like subconscious connection.
Yeah, we've got that little.
Like every once in a while, I'll be in the morning, I'll be brushing my teeth, looking in the mirror,
and my gums start bleeding at that moment.
Does it?
Yes, that's amazing. It's incredible. All of a sudden, I get this little bleed thing. I said, Mike must be brushing his teeth right now. I get that same feeling.
Because I've done that after, like, I'll go to the bathroom in the morning, get out, wash my hands, and like my gum line in the back.
Yep.
It's like I overflossed or something.
That's when I'm flossing.
But that's when you're flossing, isn't it?
It is.
God, that's weird.
It's like we're twins.
Did you feel it when
we've been together longer than most twins?
Yeah. I slammed my knee on the counter
Ouch.
yesterday. Did you feel that?
I have a bruise.
You do?
Yes. That's how I didn't know where it came from. I didn't hit anything. Right? I just like,
and we're cousins and we're connected by the spine.
Wow.
That was an old comedian. An old comedian had a line like that.
Well, it's good that you have my back, man. That we're connected by the spine.
Well, now I'm worried because if you go do something like decide to jump off a wall like you did about 5 years ago and
just
stick the landing.
Brace yourself. If you feel like you're falling, brace, all right? Tuck and roll.
This is really clarifying.
That's the best thing, tuck and roll. Because I braced and it snapped through my whole body. It could have been when I ruptured my neck. I don't know. It could have been that moment. But I could have thought the cement was going to be softer than it was, man. I used to jump and spring around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But that little 6-foot wall and sudden stop, 200 pounds wasn't easy, man. I was like,
we had that on video too somewhere. Oh.
Yeah, we
was a jolt.
We need to vote on that before that gets popped up onto the internet. But
I know I wouldn't do that.
But
I wouldn't do that.
But yeah, so it does explain a lot. So when you're around somebody so much, we can kind of finish each other's
sentences.
Exactly. Isn't that weird? It's incredible. It's like
incredible.
It's
hard to even be here right now.
It's really amazing, the aura around here. So, so you just think people are doing. If you listen to the news stations, and it's just funny if you go to one station versus the other, there's a right one and a left one out there. Boy, it's just weird how they both have these strong opinions and they're both correct. They think that it's almost, that's when I turn on Big Bang Theory at that moment and kind of watch those.
There you go.
But, yeah, so that's your M?
It was just like I said. It was a totally Captain Obvious kind of thing, but
I didn't know.
I kind of sat there after I heard it, and I thought, this is just stupid.
Hero one day, villain the next.
Right?
Can't you do a story? Like, can't you do
like a real story
do a
with
real
facts?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's a 7-game playoff series. It's not one. Like, it's probably a lot like tied back to golf. It's probably a lot like when Spieth had his downfall at the Masters a couple of years ago. Everybody wrote him off and said, well, he's never going to be able to play the Masters the way he could because he's going to have this in the back of his mind. It's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. You have no idea.
Maybe there's just too many people with too many thoughts. I mean, it's they have to fill airtime. There's so many shows and there's so much social media, and they've got to be paid to be there, and the golf analysis people, these what do they call those guys? Analysts, man. I'll tell you, it's pretty funny. And if you start listening to this, but they have to fill the air.
Well, that's true.
With something, and
which we can relate to that.
Which is basically what we're doing now, and they're improv. And there are some that fill the air pretty well, and there's some that are just grasping for things to say.
Right.
And it's kind of interesting. And I don't know if their producers have a motive for them, the analysts or not, or is they just freewheeling what they feel. But some of it's so off the cuff that you're not just golf, all sports.
Yeah.
You listen to those guys in the morning that do the sports shows that are very talented people and they speak extremely well, but they're just, Jimmy Rome is fantastic on his rants. I mean, he's one of the best in the business, the way he speaks and pauses. It's just rants, and he's, it's his opinion on things, but he's clear to say that's his opinion.
Right.
But there's others that claim they're experts, and this is the way it is.
Right.
And that's kind of frustrating because it's not the way it is, or it might not be the way it is. It could be, but it might not be. Right. But at least, Jim does it with great humor, dry sense of humor. I'm a fan. I mean, a lot of people are not a fan of Jimmy Rome's. Are you a fan of Jim?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I mean, I think
Jim Rome, Colin Cowherd. I mean, just like what you said, they all have their own styles.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's their individuality. That's their brand. That's who they are.
And if Jimmy writes his own stuff, he's really funny. He's got a great sense of humor, or at least it matches. I don't know. I have a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
it tickles my funny bone. Because it's very dry and very punny, and there's a lot of his pausing's pretty fun. Like you, Nikki. Just when I see Jim Rome, I think of humor. I think of you. Just almost in the same breath. So
I bet.
So I think it's gonna be an interesting show. A lot of listeners. It's funny because we're a talk show and we get most of our information via social media. They Facebook us in or go to our website and ask questions. We are a radio show. They're free to call, are they not?
Yeah, they are.
But most people, and that's just the people's life. And a lot of people podcast, so they can't call.
Well, yeah,
no question, right? They can't. They're podcasting. They can't call us.
They don't. Yeah, they're doing other things.
So that makes sense.
Like after last weekend's show. We had 3 posts almost immediately after I posted the podcast on people recommending the show.
So that totally makes sense.
They said you really got to listen to the show. It's good golf. It's good golf talk. It's good banter. It's good life stories. And that's what we strive to do. I mean, that's.
See, at a producer meeting, you should have mentioned that, Nikki, because now I feel this. The reason that we get all these questions and comments on our internets and stuff is because people aren't listening to us live. That's why we don't get a lot of calls. They're listening to us. Wow. So why don't you tell me that? Post live. I mean, dead. Yeah. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, post live. I'm saying it nicely.
So yeah, it makes sense. Totally makes sense because you can't. So we appreciate all the comments. But there's a lot of cool topics out there they want to talk about, and they think that we might have our own thoughts on those. And again, all our comments are strictly our thoughts, and they're not facts. Really.
Yeah. No. Exactly. So. I mean, it's just the way. It's funny as you look at the way that communication amongst the human race has gone forward and how fast things are moving from the phone with the cord to the cordless phone to the Walkman to the iPod.
Well, is it true June 1st that we're going to be a hologram show where we're going to actually appear in people's houses?
That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
So you just turn a button and we just show up in there. I heard that's coming.
That's possible.
Because somebody came in with all these 50 cameras.
Don't they have to carve our likeness
inside
of a hologram?
I got one of those things. My house, they came the other day, and they came in with 500 cameras. No, they have 500 cameras. They hook you all these electrodes and stuff.
Jeez.
And I thought you set that up.
I haven't booked that quite yet. I don't know where that came from.
Who were those people? And I had to say all the letters and all the words, and I went right through the dictionary and said every word.
Wow. How long did that take?
Day and a half.
That's pretty fast. That's actually really fast.
Well, I couldn't pronounce a whole lot of them, so Alexa and my little machine pronounced a lot of them for me. So in the hologram, if that voice comes up, it sounds a lot like Alexa's voice. Yes. That's because I couldn't pronounce it. It got 14 letters in that sucker, man. I'm like, what is that word?
Funny.
But yeah, so I figured that was for the hologram show.
It might be. You never know. I guess it is.
I travel too much, man. I come back. There's all these new things. I got people showing up with equipment. Man, I was getting measured. It was weird. I had to change outfits 6 times. It was really a weird day, man. I thought, Mike, where's Mike? So where is Mike? Oh, we'll get to him, they said. So I'm a little worried.
Maybe that's why there was a note taped to my door. I didn't read it. I thought it was a UPS sticker.
They could be coming to your house, man.
They probably are.
Yeah, so right now.
And speaking of that, we're going to take our first break. So that was the morning BM. Well done, people. Golf Talk Radio brought to you by TaylorMade Golf. Check out the latest M3, M4 drivers, fairway woods, hybrids, and irons at TaylorMadeGolf.com today. And also Sundale Country Club, 661-831-5224. SundaleCountryClub.com, home of the Bakersfield City Championship for over 30 years. Stay with us.
Misconception.
Yes. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy right here on the Golf Talk
Musselburgh
Radio Network. We'll be right back.